They tell you Android TV boxes are smart. But if they're so smart, why do most people regret buying one after 3 months? In 2026, Android TV boxes are everywhere. Online ads, YouTube sponsors, TikTok tech experts telling you this tiny box will replace cable, replace streaming subscriptions, and somehow turn your old TV into a futuristic entertainment hub. And for a moment, it feels true. Until the lag starts, until apps crash, until Netflix buffers for no reason, until updates stop coming, until the box that promised 8K AI power struggles to open YouTube. Because here's the truth nobody says out loud. Most Android TV boxes aren't built to last. They're built to sell. So today, we're not doing another boring spec list. We're ranking Android TV boxes in 2026 from trap to worth it, based on real-world use, speed, stability, updates, and how they actually behave after the honeymoon phase ends. No hype, no affiliate worship, just what survives living room reality. And we're starting at the bottom. Number 7. Superbox S5 Max. The spec sheet illusion. On paper, the Superbox S5 Max looks insane. Android 12, 4 GB of RAM, 64 GB of storage, Wi-Fi 6, 8K support. Sounds like a monster, right? In real life, it's a classic Android box trap. Yes, it's fast out of the box. Menus feel smooth. Apps open quickly. You think you scored a deal. Then reality sets in. Owners report random freezes, apps crashing after updates, background processes eating memory, streaming apps losing certification support over time. And here's the big red flag. Many of these boxes rely on unofficial app builds. That means today it works, tomorrow it doesn't. One user summed it up perfectly. Month 1 felt amazing. Month 4 felt unstable. The hardware isn't terrible, but long-term support is a gamble. And when updates stop, so does reliability. This box isn't useless, but it's not a safe buy. That's why it sits at number 7. Number 6. Xiaomi Mi Box S. Cheap, stable, and dated. The Mi Box S is popular for one reason. It's cheap, and it works. You get Android TV, Netflix, YouTube, Prime Video, Google Assistant built in. For casual users, it feels safe. But here's the issue in 2026. This hardware is old. 2 GB of RAM, limited internal storage, slow multitasking, noticeable lag once you install more than a few apps. It's fine if all you do is open Netflix and leave. But the moment you start jumping between apps, using voice search, or adding streaming services, the cracks show. One buyer said, "It works, but it feels tired." And that's the perfect word, tired. The Mi Box S isn't a disaster. It's just aging fast in a market that's moving on. Good as a secondary device, not great as your main hub. That's why it lands at number 6. Before we go further, here's what most people get wrong. More specs don't equal better streaming. 8K support doesn't matter if your apps aren't optimized. Cheap boxes fail because of software, not raw power. And the boxes that survive? They balance performance, updates, and ecosystem support. And that's where things start to get interesting. Because next, we're moving into devices that look simple, but quietly outperform boxes twice their price. And one of them surprises almost everyone. Number 5. Chromecast with Google TV. Simple, but smarter than it looks. At first glance, this thing looks almost too basic. A small stick. No giant RAM numbers. No flashy marketing. And that's exactly why it works. Chromecast with Google TV isn't trying to be everything. It's designed around software stability first. Apps load consistently. Netflix, YouTube, Prime Video, fully certified. Updates arrive on time. And casting? Rock solid. Phones, tablets, laptops. It just works. One long-term user said, "It never crashes. I forgot what crashing feels like." But let's be honest. This isn't a power user box. Storage is limited. Heavy multitasking slows it down. It's not for gaming. It's not for endless side-loading. This is the device you buy when you want reliability over flexing. For most people, that's actually the smarter choice. That's why Chromecast lands at number 5. Number 4. Nvidia Shield Standard. Still dangerous in 2026. Here's where things shift. The Nvidia Shield doesn't chase trends. It doesn't change much year to year. And that's a good thing. Because Nvidia did one thing right early on. They built it like a computer, not a toy. Real processor, real thermal management, real long-term software support. Even in 2026, the Shield still feels fast. Menus are instant. 4K HDR playback is stable. AI upscaling actually works, not marketing fluff. And unlike most Android boxes, this one ages gracefully. Owners report using the same Shield for 5 to 7 years without issues. But there's a catch. The standard Shield isn't cheap, and it's not plug and forget for everyone. If you don't care about AI upscaling, advanced audio formats, gaming options, you might feel like it's overkill. But for users who want a box that doesn't slow down with age, this thing is still dangerous. That's why it lands at number 4. Let's pause for a second. Notice what separates the boxes that fail from the ones that survive. It's not RAM size, 8K labels, fancy remotes. It's software certification, update consistency, thermal design, ecosystem support. That's why the next two devices divide people hard. One is powerful, but misunderstood. The other looks boring and absolutely dominates long-term use. Number 3. Nvidia Shield Pro, the box that refuses to age. This is where Android TV stops feeling like a gadget and starts feeling like infrastructure. The Shield Pro isn't flashy, but it's brutally consistent. More RAM, expandable storage, better multitasking, better sustained performance. This is the box people buy once and forget about for years. Streaming? Effortless. High bitrate files? No problem. Plex servers? Easy. Cloud gaming? Stable. One owner said, "Everything else I owned slowed down. This didn't." Is it expensive? Yes. But this isn't a disposable box. It's a long-term solution, and that's why it earns number 3. Now we're at the top. And this is where most people get it wrong. Because the final two devices don't win on specs. They win on how it feels to live with them. Number 2. Amazon Fire TV Stick. Powerful, fast, and controlling. The Fire TV Stick is everywhere in 2026. It's fast. It's smooth. It launches apps instantly. Wi-Fi 6 keeps streaming stable even in busy homes. On pure performance, it's impressive. Dolby Vision, Dolby Atmos, snappy navigation. But here's the trade-off. You're not buying a neutral device. You're buying Amazon's ecosystem. The interface pushes prime content first. Recommendations feel more like ads than suggestions. Settings are buried. Sideloading exists, but it's clearly discouraged. One user said it best. It works great, but it never lets you forget who owns it. If you live inside Amazon's world, this box feels perfect. If you don't, it slowly becomes annoying. That's why it lands at number 2. It's powerful, but it's not free. Number 1. Chromecast with Google TV, 4K. The box that gets out of the way. This is the one nobody brags about. No giant numbers. No 8K AI engine. No gamer branding. And that's exactly why it wins. Chromecast with Google TV does one thing better than everything else on this list. It disappears. Apps open when you click them. Updates arrive quietly. Streaming services stay certified. Casting just works. It doesn't fight you. It doesn't force content. It doesn't slow down after a year. One long-term user said, "I stopped thinking about the box. I just watch TV." And that's the highest compliment. Is it the most powerful device here? No, But power doesn't matter if stability fails. This box balances software support, performance, ecosystem neutrality, long-term reliability, better than anything else for most people. That's why it takes number one. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Most Android TV boxes fail because they chase specs instead of experience. They sell big numbers, buzzwords, features you'll never use, and they ignore updates, app certification, thermal limits, long-term stability. The winners do the opposite. They feel boring on day one and amazing in year three. So before you buy the box that looks the most powerful, ask yourself one question. Do I want a device that impresses me today, or one that still works quietly years from now? Because in 2026, the smartest tech isn't louder, it's invisible. You're watching Appliance Trap. We don't sell hype, we expose it, so you don't pay for it twice.